This is DG Vision Network.
When we look at the state where 10 years ago, or is it 15 years ago, getting a telephone was a big deal. Now everybody has a telephone. Now everybody can participate in communication, because information technology is all about being able to transmit data from one place to another, and for it to be received and be transmitted securely and be useful in making decisions or in solving business problems. But when you look at IT in education and IT in business, many businesses today may have a few computers, but are they really using the computers for information technology? How many companies today use adopt IT automation? How many companies today have an online payroll system? Most companies are still using Excel. We could say, okay, Excel is IT, but there are different levels of IT. So, in short, Nigeria has done very well in the top 5–10%, but in the rest of it, we have a long way to go. Fact remains, even 4G has not been rolled out across the entire country. Mostly it's 3G now. 4G is gaining ground. We've jumped to 5G. And I think as a country, in Nigeria, in almost everything that we do, we should look at bringing everybody up a notch or two. And we shouldn't only think about the top 5 or 10% of industry, because really the success of this nation lies with the success of everybody. The Internet of Things, IoT, is the use of the collection of data from your ecosystem, the transmission of that data to the cloud, then using the internet, of course, and then from the cloud to your platform, where the data is analyzed and then presented to you as information that is useful to you. An example would be IoT in smart agriculture, where we put a device, usually a battery-operated device, where the battery life could be anything from 3 years to 10 years. You put a device into the soil that would measure the moisture content of that soil, or the nitrate content, or the temperature. And in the case of mini weather stations, the speed of the wind and other factors that could have an impact on the yield of that farm. That is how much corn, or what tonnage of crops will be produced by that farm per acre. So that information collected from the farm itself will be transmitted by radio, because each of these devices is a radio device, and it transmits a signal, the data, to the low power wide area network owned by IoT Africa. And run by technologies from Sigfox and LARE. And this data would go to our network. Our network would receive it and send it through the internet to the platform in the cloud. And then the data would be analyzed and presented to the farmer in a manner that the farmer would now be able to make use of that information. You can even go one step further and have expert systems, where if you configure the system to say this farm is farming this particular species of corn, all the parameters required for that corn to do well would be known by the system. So if the moisture content is insufficient, the system would actually tell the farmer how many liters of water he needs to irrigate the farm with in order to bring it back up to standard. So you can see this is precision farming. So the Internet of Things, for example, is very good in helping with food security. So the Internet of Things collects data, transmits it, processes it, analyzes it, presents it to you, and makes it useful. A simple example of Internet of Things is like a wireless smoke detector put in your home. So if there's a fire in your home or in your shop or your school, a signal will be transmitted and you would get that information on your phone. So you don't have to be there. Many fire alarms today would sound an alarm and only those in the building would hear it. With the Internet of Things, all alarms can be heard on your phone. And when I say all alarms, for example, if the temperature in your poultry farm is too high, it will send you an alarm. So you know you have to do something to avoid your chickens from dying. And if the soil moisture is too low, you know it will send you an alarm and you know what to do about that. So that's the Internet of Things. Wow, the term common man is a term that has really confused me over the years because I've seen rich men call themselves common men. But let us assume that we mean the average man in Nigeria. The average man based on earning power, on spending power. When you look at it objectively, a smoke detector, even if it costs you 50,000 naira, if 50,000 naira is going to protect your small store that has 5 million naira worth of goods, I think 50,000 naira is really affordable. I think one of the major challenges with the assessment of the affordability of the Internet of Things is that the value proposition has not been properly communicated. If you know what the value is, buying it at a reasonable price becomes easy. I said to somebody the other day, I said, if I told you I was spending $1,000, which is approximately 610,000 naira, on an air ticket to go to Dubai, would you feel that, oh my God, it's too expensive? And the fellow said no. I said, so why would I tell you that spending 50,000 naira on an IoT smoke detector in your home to ensure that if there was ever a fire that would affect the lives of your children, why would you say it was too expensive? So 50,000 naira worth of IoT and 610,000 naira worth of air tickets, all of a sudden when you put things into perspective, IoT is really affordable and really cheap. Certainly IoT is not 5,000 naira. I think yes, the government has a role to play. It is the government that decides on the curriculum, the educational curriculum in schools. So just by deciding to introduce the Internet of Things in the school curriculum, the whole game changes. Everybody would know about IoT, everybody would know what the value proposition is, and therefore adoption of IoT becomes, the adoption of IoT and the acceptance of IoT becomes a given, becomes standard. Right now IoT is not in any of the school curriculums that I'm aware of. And I don't know all of them, so it might be one or two. Generally speaking, when we conducted a survey and asked people, do you know what IoT is? They did not know. I think you'll find that 99% of the population does not know what IoT means. And I think I'm even being generous. It's not that they should know. It's that it's beneficial for them to know. Because it has a very positive impact on their lives and on their safety and security, and on the productivity and the ability to make ends meet. It has a severe, serious impact, positive impact on our ability to produce more affordable food, which immediately has an impact on the standard of living of people. So people should know about those things that have a significant and or substantial impact on the quality of their lives. And therefore the government could make a big difference by introducing it into the curriculum of the schools. Apart from that, the government, I'm aware that the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy is and has been promoting IoT. IoT Africa participated in the GITEX conference in Dubai, in the UAE, and I think we were the only private company in that year to join with all the agencies under the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy. And we presented ourselves to the world, side by side with all the agencies under that ministry. And it was a fantastic outing. We learned a lot. We were able to communicate to the public what IoT was and what IoT did, and announce that IoT was now in Nigeria. 2 years later, we have the first IoT West Africa conference, again taking place on the 21st to 23rd of June this year, starting every day at 10 a.m. at the Landmark Event Center. So yes, the government has a role to play. The government has been playing a role, and we look forward to the government playing an even bigger role in helping to promote the usefulness and the benefits and the attributes and the essential value that IoT, the Internet of Things, brings to Nigeria.
This is DG Vision Network.